Yes, sir, please unmute yourself.
Yes, I have. Okay, so can we start?
Yes.
We already have, what, 11 people? You know, Krishnaji in 1929 speech said if there were just 5 people with their faces turned towards eternity, it would be enough. So we are 10. So don't worry about the number. Am I audible? Because other people, yeah, can you confirm that I am audible?
Yes,
Okay,
you are
okay,
audible.
okay. So actually, I'm often very reluctant to give talks at these dialogue meetings because I think Krishnaji talked for almost more than 60 years mm, and spoke at length at almost the whole gamut of human emotions, and there was nothing I think that he left untouched. And he also explained everything that he said. So, what is left for people like me to explain now? I am not a teacher of the teachings. I think what is important, I also wonder if one who has not understood very deeply the meaning of the teachings, one who has just some intellectual verbal knowledge of the teachings, but hasn't, mm, has tried to live, but hasn't been able to live. Do I, or someone who has not actually seen what Krishnaji had seen and what he has shared with others, do I have how do I talk about all this? Do I have the right? Not in the sense that, I mean, some social or legal right, I mean, do I have a moral right to give a talk on Krishnaji's teaching? That's a question that often comes to my mind. Because almost all of you've been reading Krishnaji for so many years. I know you're all serious people organizing and attending these dialogues for so many years. I keep disappearing, but I see many of you are here almost every week, twice every week, in fact. So, so you all know the intellectual part, the verbal part, and you also have a deeper knowledge. I mean, a deep knowledge of you have delved into the teachings, you have read books, participated in dialogues, you have given talks. I think, therefore, these dialogue groups, they become very important if we approach them rightly. When I say approach them rightly, I mean that it is not just an opportunity for us to exchange intellectual sensations. Like I say something, of course, there is intellectual pleasure because the teachings are like a sumptuous feast for intellectuals, very tempting. So it's very easy to get caught in the intellectual pleasure and the intellectual sensation. But beyond that, am I actually able to understand in a very profound sense, in a way that has become transformative for me? It has brought about a change in my psyche, the change that Krishnaji talks about, the radical transformation in the inner. in the psyche itself. So my answer to myself is often in the negative. Not that I'm pessimistic, not that I'm judging all the time. I'm judging myself all the time. Not that I have a fixed yardstick by which I keep measuring my growth, my progress. But it comes to me, it occurs to me as a very serious question, and I think we all need to address this. When we participate in dialogues, are we just uh, become sharing borrowed wisdom? We are dolers of somebody else's uh, wisdom, or it is something that has also brought about a change. Because a dialogue has meaning, and only dialogue has meaning, not just following what Krishnji has said or what some other teacher has said, repeating it verbatim. For some, it may have some value, but to me, it seems that it's a futile exercise. So, yet, another challenge that Krishnaji throws at those who try to speak about the teachings is he often hands out a big list of what to do and what not to do. And the list of what not to do is often much longer than what to do exactly. So he says, don't quote me, don't compare me, don't approach the teachings like an intellectual. Otherwise, what you will be saying will be just empty words. So there's such a long list of what not to do, the don'ts and the do's, and the long list of don'ts, that the speaker often finds himself sitting on the horns of a dilemma. And then he doesn't know where to start from, because he immediately is reminded of this is an unwritten list, but he keeps reminding people about this in his talks, in his writings, dialogues. So that's a serious dilemma that anybody who tries to speak about Krishnamurti's teachings faces, at least I face. So having said that, we still organize dialogue because I think dialogues are more important than a lecture given by somebody who considers himself an authority or whom others consider an authority. Listen to him for half an hour, 40 minutes, and then ask him questions as if he knew all the answers. There is no such thing in Krishnamurti's teachings. Why dialogues are important? Again, dialogues are important, not talks. The question answer session, which are often held at the end of a talk. You see, between Bohm and David Bohm and Krishnji, they went together into the meaning of the word dialogue. And I'm sure, again, all of you must be that it means uh, dia is true and logos is words. So it's a conversation, not necessarily between two people. There could be more people, 6, 10, 12, 15. So it's like it's through words that we speak to each other. Now, what do we share through words? Not just, again, the verbal knowledge of the teachings, but our actual experience of what we have done to the teachings what the teachings have done for us. So it's actually a kind of a dialogue, like it's a shared experience that we talk about. It's a the meaning of the words as we understand them, and that flows between the participants. He also compares a dialogue to a tennis lawn tennis game, in which he says that at the end there is neither the questioner nor the answerer. It's just a question hanging in the air, like a ball. The questioner as an entity disappears, and the answerer also, there is no answerer. So basically, in a dialogue, what matters is the question that the the takeaway is the question, not an answer, but a question deeper than the one with which we began the dialogue. So, of course, the world as we see it today had been, I mean, the way it had been going on for from time immemorial. It's a terribly unstable, uh, strife-torn world. See all kinds of conflicts going on at levels, I mean, more than we can imagine in the life of an individual, societal level, socioeconomic instabilities, political instability, wars going on, unstable rulers actually at the helm of affairs, causing disturbance every corner of the world, just because of their irresponsible ways of thinking, irresponsible actions. So the theme that was suggested to me was the urgency of awareness in an unstable environment. By environment, we mean both the external environment and the inner environment, the environment within each one of us. People have talked about this instability. It has been a question of profound philosophical inquiry, not just now, but for thousands of years. They have also suggested ways of ending this instability. When Plato talks about a utopian state, he says a stable state can come into existence if you have a philosopher king at the top, which means either the philosopher is the king or the king has the powers of philosopher. And since a philosopher is supposed to be a wise man, for him a philosopher is a person who is intelligently good, who doesn't only have goodness, is also intelligent. His goodness is a result of his intelligence. That was his utopia. I mean, and people have seen the roots, they have traced the root of this chaos, this instability, to the psyche of the rulers, to the psyche of the individuals. Like Hobbes, for instance, the philosopher, he also said that it is because basically the human nature is such that in the whole society, mm, everybody is at war with everybody else. We are all at war with each other. that has created like uh, like an instability of an incalculable proportions. So I have just prepared some notes. Like you see, for example, people have also thought that the roots of external instability lies in the selfish mindset, the selfish nature, the expansionist nature of the rulers, because all they are interested in more power. There's an insatiable hunger for power. And that leads to instability because they take decisions based on just to gratify that appetite for power. And they are expansionists by nature. They want to aggrandize themselves. And therefore, there's a lot of instability because while uh, taking self-centered decisions, they don't take into account the needs, the aspirations of the common people. Therefore, there is instability. Mostly, Western philosophers have traced the origin of this chaos, instability, this agitation, this perennial confusion in the external conditions. And they have felt that if you change the external conditions, if you change the external socio-economic conditions, the political structure, the consciousness of man will automatically undergo a change. Obviously, that has not worked because historically and statistically, we can see that it has not worked. As an experiment, they have done it in smaller communities. They tried it at a big level. Communists tried to do it. And the whole thing collapsed because at the center were some individuals who were hungry for power, who wanted to first capture the power and then wanted to retain it at any cost. And once you have a self-centered individual, even at the at the very core of a very generous, very compassionate ideology, his very presence can vitiate the whole thing. The whole structure can collapse, crumble. And that's what happened. A person or an ideology that even talked about a stateless society, that the individual or the organizations controlled by the individual became all powerful. I mean, there are so many such examples that how working only on the outer structure, even if the goal initially started by the philosopher or the thinker who recommended this kind of an action was maybe a selfless man. Maybe Marx himself tried to make man more selfish because he didn't want people to have property. Property itself was theft to. But people who run the system, people who are responsible for controlling, managing the affairs of the people, the political system, bureaucracy. Now, in the East, the approach has been very different. In the East, mostly philosophers, of course, including Krishnji, have put almost all their emphasis on the change within the individual, not in the outer structure, because no matter how hard you try, no matter how drastic your so-called transformation in the outer structure is, it's not going to be an enduring thing. It's not going to be to last very long, because again the inner disorder of man will manifest itself, destroying the outer completely. So they have recommended that one has to begin with oneself, see the factors, the root cause of instability, which lies in the human psyche and not in the outside world. What kind of instability do we see in ourselves? Are we really in touch? Do we really see for ourselves the agitation in myself, the factors that lead to serious instability in my own behavior, in my immediate environment, community, and so on? Because that's where I'm supposed to begin. So, what kind of awareness helps us here? I see instability and I listen to a teacher who has delved deeply into human consciousness and come up with some outcomes, some discoveries, and said, look, the problem lies within you. You have a thing called thought. And that thought is is just it's just a shadow. It's a it's an impermanent, unreal thing. And your identification with this unreal thing the fact that all your actions, all your social institutions, all your social structures are based on something which is fundamentally infected, fundamentally divisive, fundamentally unstable. If your whole life, individual and social, is based on that entity, you are just building your house on shifting sands. Whatever you build up, whatever you create, is bound to be unstable, because that's the foundation of all your thoughts and action. Whatever you do. So again, I listen. I can romanticize about it. I find a lot of intellectual depth in it. Do I actually see? Do I actually see thought as a very uh, powerful factor of corruption, of division, of turmoil within me? And do I see that it is this thought that has created uh, chaos in the outside world? Do I see the interconnectedness between what is happening inside my head and what is happening outside? And do I see that they are both very deeply connected with each other? Because if I don't see, I can give talks, I can write research papers, I can compare. But if I don't see, then it has very little value. Now, what is the problem with thought? Okay, we set it aside for now. Okay, whether thought and the external world, whether the disturbance inside me and the disturbance outside are interconnected. What is thought itself? What has it done? why has it caused so much agitation in me? And how does awareness help in mitigating this situation? Now, often what we do, we talk about awareness, and we say that if we become aware of thoughts as they arise, and we become aware of thoughts in a manner that Krishnamurti calls choiceless, passive, then it may drop away. Now, we need to look at this thing called awareness a little bit more deeply. I think that this awareness that we talk about can also be a thought generated awareness. For instance, I have been watching, I have been listening to friends like you who have been reading Krishnamurti and other teachers, and then my thought has become conditioned. Not the whole um, arena, the whole psychological sphere, but a thought has become conditioned and it has started pretending as though it were aware of all the other thoughts. So one may be watching for 20 years, 30 years, but one also notices that no meaningful change, no profound change has happened. Because what I don't realize is that what we call awareness is just another thought pretending to be aware of other thoughts. Is that a possibility? Do you think that this is also uh, something that may happen in some cases? Thought becoming aware or pretending to be aware of other thoughts. So now we have a consciousness that has thoughts, that has emotions, and the possibility of an awareness. Now, that awareness could also be the thought generated, as I touched upon a little. Other than this, there's one more thing that I have noticed, and I would like to share it with you. When we talk about awareness of thought, non-judgmental awareness of thought, do we include the thinker in it also? Because if we don't include the thinker, we may miss, and I think it would be a great mistake on our part, that we may think, we may not see the nature of the one who is aware. The one who is a thinker can also become the one who is aware. He can also become an experiencer of peace and silence without knowing that it is itself a creation of thought. So the thinker, also known as observer, experiencer, can also become an aware entity, an experiencer of silence, an experiencer of mystical things, an experiencer of tranquility, peace, not realizing that it is just an extension of thought. It's a creation of thought. Do we actually see that this thinker is a creation of thought which is obsessed with its own survival, which is obsessed that it must perpetuate itself at any cost, and uses the thinker, which is just another thought, as a crutch to lean on, because without that center, its existence is very its existence is very transient. It's very impermanent. Just it's just like a bubble. It's like a wave coming and going all the time. And seeing its very fragile nature, it has tried to create a very permanent, seemingly permanent center, and now around which it revolves. Do we actually see it? Do I actually see? Now, other than the thought and the thinker, there's a bridge that connects the two. There's a connecting link. They are linked together through the process of thinking. So when we talk about awareness, are we aware of all these three? The thought, the thinker, and the thinking process, through which thought has created the thinker, through which thought uh, creates and harbors, nurtures the illusion that it is separate from the thinker. Thinker is something else. Thinker is the thinker of thoughts. It is not a thought. Now, through that mechanism of thinking, that division has taken. Now, the result of that division is that thinker, not realizing that it's another thought, is all the time trying to do something about the thought, control it, change it, subjugate it, sublimate it, substitute it, make it into something greater, violent thought, turn it into a non-violent thought, hate, turn it into love, and so on. Because it doesn't know that no matter what it does, it will not be able to change it, because the entity that is making all the effort to change is actually the same thing which it is trying to change. So all its efforts will have no transformative impact. So do we see this thought, thinker, the process of now? If at all one is able to see this, the whole game, the movement of consciousness, which includes thoughts, emotions, the process of thinking, the connecting bridge between thought and thinker, then obviously one has detached oneself from all these. Because without creating a distance between thought, thinker, with distance with thought, thinker, thinking, I think one can obviously not watch them. Uh, I think some distance or detachment is is necessary in order to be able to watch. Watch a thought. If I identify very strongly with it, to make this identification light, bit loose, I have to step back a little, and then only I can watch it. Am I right in saying so? This is how it appears to me, like detaching myself from all the three and then watching. Now, I have known people in the Krishnamurti circle, and for many, many decades. And from some other spiritual streams also, disciplines also, met them, talked to them. I think this awareness in itself, even though it seems to have become very profound, doesn't bring about a real change. Because you see, I remember a statement that Krishnaji said. He said, choiceless awareness is the key to inner freedom. He didn't say in this statement particularly that choiceless awareness is inner freedom. Neither did he say that, oh, as Vedantins say, that you are choiceless awareness. As they say, you are the witness consciousness. Krishnaji never said that. When he says that it's the key to inner freedom, which means it is something through which you may become aware of this whole network, of this whole game that thought, along with with the connivance or with the collaboration of the thinker and the thinking, with using thinking as an apparatus, all three together play this game, and you may become aware of it. There's a possibility because the consciousness is not just these, there is more to it, which is it is capable of watching these three non-judgmentally from a distance and watch as though one were watching a movie on a screen, a Denzel Washington movie, but not being part of it. Are we actually able to watch? Okay. If it is just a key to a door, you open the door. But that awareness itself doesn't tell you what is beyond the door. So there is something mystical, there's something mysterious about which we do, I don't know. At the most, I have only seen then that even in very painful moments, even in very happy moments, moments of separation, moments of union, reunion, moments of achievement, I am able to watch. There is something in it which can still watch that you see, I am enjoying this. I am able to watch myself enjoying a moment. I can watch myself suffering in a moment. But it hasn't ended my suffering. It has not ended my, my ability to enjoy myself. That has not ended. So that I think there is a possibility that there is a state of consciousness in which awareness and what one is aware of, they coexist. It doesn't end. See, there's a subject-object relationship. There is anger, I watch, I'm aware. When I watch, anger drops away. That's what you guys say. That's what case says. Okay. Next moment, anger may come back. Anger may go, jealousy may come back. Again, I watch. So this game of subject-object relationship. When I say watch anger, anger becomes the object of my awareness. And when I watch carefully, as suggested by great teachers, anger may loosen its grip on me, may come back. So it leads me to believe that the awareness that I am aware of, that I know about, isn't very different from what it is trying to observe. Another problem that arises is that I don't know where is my awareness when there's nothing to watch. There are moments when there's apparently no psychological events happening, no strong emotions to watch, no anger, no joy, anything. There's some kind of an emptiness. Then what does awareness watch? What happens to choiceless awareness when there is nothing to be choiceless about, when there's nothing to be aware of? What a bit. So, is there always a subject-object relation? Are they codependent? As the Buddha said, pratitya samutpada, which means, does awareness come into being when anger, for instance, come into being? Jealousy comes into being, suffering comes into being? Or it is still there? If it is still there, then what is it doing? What is actually awareness doing? When I'm sorry, somebody's tried to join. I don't know. I admit it, but Gautam. Okay, so what is awareness doing? Because if the existence, the very emergence of awareness is dependent upon the emergence of a phenomenon, of an object, then it still seems to have little meaning. What is the role of awareness, or what happens to awareness when there is apparently nothing to watch? Okay, I think I must leave because there's so many things that can be talked about, go on for hours on end. I think I am really sorry that I taken a lot of time. I could not stop myself. So let's now leave the floor open to our friends. Please say something. Please speak, participate, ask, reject what I said, disagree. Let's do something. Let's talk. Thank you so much for inviting me, calling me. You decide whoever wants to speak, just go on.
Yeah, I want to say something.
I think
Chetan,
Somendra ji has raised his hand.
okay,
So let him say.
okay.
Yeah.
Somendra ji,
Hello, हाँ
Yeah,
चैतन्य
Somendra ji.
चैतन्य हेलो हाँ
Yeah,
चैतन्य
yeah. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Somendra ji.
आपने
yeah.
you explained things very well. Okay,
Hmm.
so first of all, congratulations, you spoke from the heart. आपने यानी अच्छा देखिए अब the cutting short all this, ये जो आपने इशू उठाया है कि अवेयरनेस के लिए कोई ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए, यानी वेरी रफली बता रहा हूँ मैं, जो आपकी बात मैंने सुनी, और अवेयरनेस हैंग्स बाय इटसेल्फ, है ना। एक एक पॉइंट तो ये आपने बड़ा अच्छा उठाया है। दूसरा जो आपने डिस्टिंक्शन दिया कि अवेयरनेस, चॉइसलेस अवेयरनेस इज द की टू समथिंग, ठीक है ना। अब ये बड़ा क्रिटिकल इशू है सर भाई। इफ इट इज चॉइसलेस, राइट, देन इट can't have anything to do with anything. Key lock, padlock, nothing. So just because Krishnamurti ji said that doesn't mean that it was true. It is true. Choiceless awareness cannot be a key to anything. तो वो जो वेदांती कह रहा है, जो भी कह रहा है, वो दूसरा बंदा कह रहा है, हो सकता है वो ठीक कह रहा हो। That's all, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Somendra ji. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Harshad ji, please.
Yes, Chaitanya, the last thing what you said about when there is nothing to watch, is there awareness? And I would say that yes, there is an ongoing awareness. It's like a background on which thoughts and feelings come and go. So, just like there is a space, and in that space, matter exists, like a furniture, our body exists. Our body can go, but the space remains. So awareness is the background in which thoughts and feelings come and go, and this awareness can see thoughts and feelings very clearly when they arise. And when thoughts and feelings don't arise, then this awareness can look at whatever is there. You can look at a tree or a river or a boat or a bird, and it is a fresh looking in which there is no thinking. It's a non-verbal looking. So this is really amazing thing that when this awareness, which is not a word, which is not created by thinking, that pure awareness, when it is awakened, a person really feels that something new has happened. And one's way of looking, listening, everything changes. And one can listen without any interference of thinking. One can look at things without interference of thinking. And so that awareness is the real thing. Once that awareness is awakened or intelligence, then whatever thoughts, problems arise can be seen, and that seeing is the action which dissolves, like anger gets dissolved. So I think whether this urgency of awareness, it exists at all times, whether there is a stable environment or unstable, because if that awareness is not awakened, then even the stable environment will become unstable and one will create problems when there is no awareness. But with the awareness, the whole problem making machinery can be seen very clearly. So, this is a topic which interests me very much, and I learn by watching my own mind, not thinking so much on what Krishnamurti said, but forgetting, maybe reading a little bit of Krishnamurti and forgetting that and just looking, it requires a curiosity, honesty, attention, energy. All these quality are required to see whatever is coming. It is like you can give an analogy like a cat and a rat. A cat looks at the rat runs, finds a hole in the wall, and the cat is outside trying to watch. As soon as the rat comes out from the hole, the cat jumps on the rat. So this cat is like a awareness and thought is like a rat. And so in many ways one can explain many analogies, many verbal picture one can create about thinking and awareness, what is the difference between the two. But this awareness is the real teachings of Krishnamurti. Awareness, which is not a word, which is not created by thinking, but which exists when all the words and thinking drops. Okay, I have said enough thing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think, yeah, thank you so much, Harshad. I think we let everybody else talk, ask questions, be brief. That would be very nice so that everybody, at least 13, 12 people who are there, can share their understanding. Thank you so much, Somendra ji, Harshad ji. Dinesh ji, please go ahead.
First of all, thank
Somendra ji,
you.
your hand is still raised. If you want to lower it, you can. Yeah,
First
thank you.
of all, thank you very much,
Thank
Nagar
you,
Sahab
sir.
and Harshad sir. Whatever you have talked, it has one way increased my chattering of mind. I would like to, so I keep it all these things aside and start from a different direction altogether. I would like to start from a different direction altogether. First of all, urgency of awareness in unstable environment. Who has got the urgency? Is I is having urgency or who? First point. What point power awareness has? You yourself have observed the simply choiceless awareness. You said that it is a key to something. Simple powerless this awareness is always there, whether you know it or not. To me, awareness is the basic what we can say agency or the background or whatever you call it. You call it curtain or parda jo aap bol rahe the, or like electricity which is flowing through the wires and it is lightening a bulb. If bulb is placed at a proper place, it lightens up. So similarly, when it lightens or awakens all our senses, so awareness is already there. If awareness is not there, then senses will not work. And when senses works, it gives you everything, right? Means the whole cognizance to a mankind is because of this senses awareness. Means awareness provides all these things, right? As per my views. Now, what is the power of awareness is? As per me, nothing. As per me, nothing. Yes, attention has. Attention has power. Attention means what? As JK said, I don't know how many people go into deep into that, but it has got so many conditions. First of all, dilution of ego. So, question of urgency awareness to whom? Is it ego powerful? Ego is in pain, or ego is in having is disturbed, or what? So, if ego is there, attention may not be that full. It will be not that powerful. So I'm sorry, my English is not very good because of Indore, but still I would like to express my views.
No. Your English is very good. I'm only saying that वही है ना कि इब्ने मरियम हुआ करे कोई मेरे दुख की दवा करे कोई तो आप अवेयरनेस है बिल्ली तो बैठी है लेकिन चूहा
हाँ,
अंदर भी क्यों है why
अंदर
then
yes,
the rat is inside the sitting inside the hole? Why does cat have to wait all the time for rat to come out and then pounce upon it? My question
sir,
is not the rat which is visible, but the rat which is hidden deep inside the hole. My question
sir.
is about that rat. You know, the rats who are moving
Problem is
around.
not with the rat. Problem is not with the rat, not with the hole, not with the cat. Problem is with the seer. Seer is disturbed, no? Seer is having all the
Okay.
problems. No, in this universe, there is no problem. It is working all right is as per his own order. Problem is with the seer. That's what my views are. Now, we were talking about attention. It should have first dilution of ego, degree of it should have degree of freedom. Means energy of freedom should be ample, right? Then conducive atmosphere. Atmosphere, you can't say that this is outer condition, this is inner condition. The totality of them is put together, outer condition as well as inner, uh, creates is the same thing, and it creates how the person takes it. That is important. Whether Trump this and you are helpless. Suppose you are in Ukraine or you are in say Iran. What you will do? Can you remain stable? I'm having my own doubt. Dubai people now can they remain stable when there is a bombing on near Burj Khalifa? I'm having my own doubt. So outer conditions as well as inner conditions both are important, and they both create a particular thing that has to be seen. Number two, then number three, if your mind is in multitasking mode, you can't be aware. Suppose you are driving a car you are also listening the mobile or music and also talking to the person sitting near you. So how the mind can focus or attend on awareness? Awareness is providing energy to all. So how can you be choicelessly aware? And what that choiceless awareness will do? Yes, you are in jungle. You don't have to. You are not that occupied, as you said, empty mind or whatever you call it. You are free to look. Rather, I would say. Then it's fine. Then that freedom is important, not your looking or this thing, right? This is what my view. See why
Yeah.
Krishnamurti said, "Don't consider me as authority." Something may work for Krishnamurti, something may work for you, something may work for me. You to question every statement of do's and don'ts, as you said. What he says, do this, don't do this. You to question everything. Why he is forced to say so, or he said so. See, for most of the people, becoming is a question. Up to a
I think
certain age.
Waghmareji, I think we are covering too many topics here. Please, let's find out if there are some other
See,
participants who
these are
want
the
to
these
speak,
are the
and
yes,
then you can come back, sir. You can come back, sir. There are
these
many
points
who.
are the important
Okay,
points to make your things unstable, right?
okay.
So you are in
Thank you, sir.
multitasking, you have to become something,
Hmm.
Chaitanya,
so
can
that
I
automatically
say
makes
something?
you unstable
Dinesh,
further.
can I just add one point? That link that
Yeah,
you
yeah, sure.
have, the link that you had between awareness and senses is right. Only thing which you missed out in that is there is a brain in between. There is no problem with senses. There is no problem with awareness. Okay. In between, there is an instrument which holds this huge thing, as Chaitanya said, called the ego, the I, which is causing all the trouble. Thank you, sir.
So I already
Yeah.
pointed out, sir. These are questions are all or for ego is only, not for the mind itself or the environment or anything else. Okay. So let me
Okay, Waghmareji,
Can
do you
the
put
see?
ego,
2 points only.
can the ego end?
Can
No, no,
Dinesh ji, can the
no,
ego
yeah,
end?
no, no,
that's not
that
today's topic. Let me put 2 points more. Mm, why don't we question JK's everything? Number one, the real stability includes both structure, outer structure as well as inner state. And you said that thought is not that culprit. Thought is the inner state as well as the outer situation. They are creating whole trouble. And thought is just expression of it. Can we see that? Our say my I am angry or I am unstable rather feeling. Let us talk of feeling. My feeling is just expressed by my thought. So thought is not culprit. Thought can be used any way. You can use thought. And
yeah,
you,
but
as you
Dinesh ji,
rightly pointed out,
with this question, can we leave the other participants to respond to this question and then see what they say? And you can always come back, sir.
okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, Pradeep ji, Saroj ji, who else? Arun, Amber, Dr. Amarnath, Gautam ji.
So,
Let's have a dialogue.
uh, regarding this topic, is a very, very vital topic. Now, the neurologist and the neuroscientist and psychologist and our Krishnaji, they have talked and about this consciousness word. Even for that matter, the Vedantic approach, they use this word consciousness in a totally different way. They say they sometimes they equal it with Atman, Brahman like that. But when Krishnaji is using this word, when Krishnaji was asked what is consciousness, he said the content of the consciousness is consciousness. And our biologist, recent research, I have gone through some articles. They have mentioned that so long there is life, that is awareness. There is awareness, one of the criteria of life, human being, animals, or for that matter, plant also. There is awareness. That is a natural process that is continuing right from the birth till death. Nobody can interfere it and bring it or off it or like that. Even for that matter, they say while sleeping also there is awareness. There is awareness of the dream. There is awareness while being in the when sleep is over. So awareness that is the criteria of life, and consciousness. They say Krishna says that the content of consciousness is consciousness. Vedanta uses the word consciousness. The neurologist and the neuroscientist research very developed setup, including of India, they have taken in other way Jungian psychology. Carl Gustav Jung, he uses this word, and all the psychologists all over the world, they say that the consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness. So regarding this, what to me being a doctor, I see, and a medical scientist, when the patient comes and when there is a hepatic problem, hepatic encephalopathy, they say there is loss of consciousness. When person is coma, consciousness is lost. So regarding this, so sir, this is a very tough and vital topic. But to me, what Krishnaji has spoken and what we understand appears more rational in our day-to-day living. And what he says that this consciousness that we are using and having it, when there is awareness uh, that Krishna uses, this consciousness, it is ended. There is consciousness means there is some memory and interpretation by the memory, and that is it's like that goes on. The way one understands and one memorizes, the consciousness is coming that way. But the awareness that is there, that is one is aware of it, then there is a real breakthrough, and he understands what is his own conditioning, his approach to a particular psychological problem. And so in that way I find it is very useful in our day-to-day living, what I understand little of Krishna. Thank you, sir.
Deepji, Dr. Kulkarni, Prasad sir, Gautam, Arun.
Lipji, I would like to. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Thank you very much. Very good morning, friends. The topic has become more complex than because the simple thing, awareness, has so many things have been so much knowledge about awareness and its varieties, choiceless awareness, this awareness, that awareness. So it has become more complex with the knowledge different people have about it. And dialoguing is possible only when the two friends or two parties with the same intensity of questions explore together, exploring together with, because knowledge doesn't listen easily. One person is knowledgeable, other person is not, or less knowledgeable, whatever it is. So knowledge usually doesn't listen. So this is dialoguing, whether dialogue is taking place between two persons, because we have so much, we have read so much, and we have seen so much about Krishnamurti teachings and Krishnamurti's words. So all those things are in my subconscious. So those things definitely would like to come as knowledge. So this is what is happening. But this urgency of awareness, urgency means relates to time, I think. This question comes to one who knows about the consequences. He knows about what happens. He knows about the fears and dangers associated with man in general. And that's why this big urgency Awareness is there with the life itself. Life in general is aware to the best of their conditions. So that way, when we say urgency means we definitely know we looking into the war all around, and temperatures going up, and all sorts of problems coming in our domestic life. So that's why, and whether urgency, whether you can call awareness, whether at will you can control the timing of awareness, I don't know, but awareness is there. Initially, awareness is there, is choiceless. Initially, first time when I watch something, absolutely knowing nothing about that, that is absolute clean awareness. But because time is cyclical, the events are cyclical, and there is repetition also in this. Time is cyclical also, not I say, don't say it is only. So that becomes, where was I? Was completely lost. So urgency relates to time, and whether I can control it. Whether I can control it. My sensitivity has a particular level based on my early conditionings, and now changing every day with the situation. So, with the level of sensitivity and fears, right, immediately, why I'm talking like this? It looks very good when we talk about that it should not happen, that should not happen, why this has happened. And although it's all happening naturally, but we don't have probably faith in nature. So this is happening because of the nature, differential, look, time and space, people, individuality, collectiveness, everything. So this is what is happening. But as if urgent urgency depends on the individual ultimately, you may say that he is the world. All right, because it's a consequence of world only. Whatever is out of the world only, memory and world. So I don't know, because most of the things that have been pointed out are the problems associated with that. But awareness, there is no problem. I don't see any problem in awareness. And how a person tackles behind that awareness, the person who is aware, observer, whether observer is observed or not, it depends on my sensitivity and connectedness to the whole thing. I think this is all I wanted to share. That's all. Thank you very much for giving me time.
Thank you, sir. Gautam, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir.
He's raised his hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Really, sir. Nice discussion. But I wanted to add on to it, and also I wanted to ask you, sir, is awareness complete?
Interesting.
You were asking me or somebody else?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For you only.
Who
For
is
you only.
asking this question, sir?
Any-
Who is asking this question, and from which plane this question is coming? Awareness, who is questioning awareness, whether it is complete or not? That is the problem.
No, in regards to whatever it may be, whether I am asking or self is
So
asking, or
you yourself,
how do you see
I
it?
myself is a problem, sir. Why this question should
But
come?
not with that.
When you are, if you are aware, really aware of the things, you will know this question goes beyond the boundary of your intellect. So intellect should
That's what, sir. Whether
yeah.
No, wait, just a minute, wait. So I wanted to ask with regards to, because see, K has told in this very clearly that knowledge is always partial and the memory is accumulation of all this knowledge,
Yes.
and it comes to the experience, and then the thought is the one which interferes with all this one. So it is a little bit, yes, clearly mentioned that this knowledge and all this is partial, that is not complete as a whole. So I want to know whether this all operates from the background or the landscape of awareness, or what is it? Is it in the conscious, or is it out of the conscious?
You have to tune up to the awareness, sir. You have to tune up with the awareness. Then only you will come to know. Intellect will not do anything in it. Feelings will not do. Emotions will not do anything. You have to use awareness itself as an instrument.
So, or else
That's why he's saying, just be aware, choicelessly.
Or else are we using just the labels or the things that, yeah, I am using this, I am, see, awareness in the sense with this particular moment, I might be aware of the thing, superficially. After that, I may not be aware, I just slip back, or I just fall back.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
please go ahead. Yeah, sure. Somendra ji, yes, please.
About this for quite some time. Yeah. Is there any difference?
No, please go ahead, sir.
Water is flowing through it. Can the river ever know that water is flowing through it? Because flowing water itself is the river. So a lot of these things are finally left at that. Like last time I said, you have a swatter, you are trying to hit the fly comes and sits on the swatter. What are we going to do? What is left to do? Any action will be a wrong action. And then the fly will be off again as it is getting off now. But now, supposing the fly is off, the thought is off, as we discussed, what can we do so that it comes back? Again, do nothing. Sorry, thank you.
So is it nothingness that whole?
Sir, my stand will be, what you are alive. Can you say that why I am alive? Can intellect which is just recording the things, can it say why it exists, or why existence is
Dinesh ji,
there?
let Gautam ji at least complete the question. Let the question unfold itself. I mean, don't intimidate him. Let him ask his question. Stay with it. Take a pause and then ask. You are anticipating what he's going to ask. Let him at least complete the question. Yeah, please.
Gautam, what was your question? You said something about complete or incomplete. What was your question?
Yes.
I could not even listen to the question itself.
Yes, I just asked whether awareness, is it complete or not? That's what I wanted to ask.
I think the question is incomplete.
It's a wrong question, sir.
Wrong
Incomplete, it's a wrong question.
Sir, question is complete in itself, but the questioner must understand himself. Why he is asking this question?
Harshad, why do you think that the question is wrong or incomplete, if I may ask you?
Because the question comes because there is this entity called me exists, my question, so that is incomplete.
Correct. The me, the self.
No, as Gautam ji rightly pointed out, every information is incomplete. Every information is incomplete. So intellect cannot be go beyond its boundaries.
One second. Dinesh ji, sorry to interrupt you. What Harshad ji is saying is, if the question is there, then it is incomplete. I totally disagree, sir. I disagree. The question is there doesn't mean that it is incomplete. The very first Richa of Rigved starts with a question. Okay, whether it is or it is not. ये तो बहुत बाद में आया, to be, not to be, much later. to question. Maybe the whole thing is a question.
Arey
So
sir,
we don't know.
Mimamsa, the
No,
tradition is
may I
based on
say,
questions, Mimamsa. But what do they end up with? What is
Yeah.
Nalji Sukta, sir? What is
Nalji
Nalji Sukta? If you talk of Rigved, what is Nalji Sukta?
You see,
I think this whole thing is becoming very noisy now for
yes.
Yes,
me.
you
If
are
we
right.
can at least take a pause before we answer, respond immediately. I
Yes,
mean,
yes, yes.
my question is, okay, Somenji said something, Harshadji. At least let's listen and understand and then respond. Like, for
I think
instance, Harshadji,
जैसे
it's a very
yeah,
good question
Chaitanya, can
that
you
you
summarize
said.
अभी तक जो जो चीजें हुई हैं,
No, I
summarize
can't because I
point
don't
1 2 3.
remember.
Whether
अरे यार
the
I can only
question,
say,
मेन इशू
I
ये
can
है
only.
कि यार as I see it, there are only two issues. Awareness, can it ever know it is aware, as Gautam said, right? Who knows it is aware? Okay. And Harshad sir said that is the wrong question. If the question remains, then it is not aware. And I questioned that. I said, question may remain and still awareness may be there. Question may hang by itself. Maybe awareness itself is a question, right? That's all. I think these are the main issues where we are now, and now we can proceed. हाँ जी, शमाई महफिल किसके आगे? प्रदीप जी और everybody.
मैं
शमाई महफिल,
प्रदीप जी
हाँ,
आप बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन बस
पुराने
मैं
जमाने में जब शायरी होती थी ना, शमाई महफिल रख दी जाती थी कि अब आगे ये बोलेगा, तो अब शमाई महफिल
मैं
प्रदीप जी के आगे. यस सर.
प्रदीप जी आप मुझे अलाउ करें, मुझे हर्षद जी से एक सवाल पूछना था.
जरूर sir,
Yes,
it's my pleasure. No question.
Harshad ji, I just wanted to ask you one thing, which I have noticed in the past also, not in your case, but in uh, these dialogue platforms, कि जैसे somebody asks you a question, right? And I often notice that the person who responds often says that this question is coming from your intellect. This question is coming from your past knowledge. Now, this may be completely untrue in the case of the questioner who has asked the question. Like, for instance, this feels like you are judging the questioner. If the questioner is asking something, and if you tell him, sir, that this is a question which is coming from your ego, from the me, then I think that's something that you can never say where this question comes. Only the questioner can answer. Maybe he has been wrestling with these questions for many years, and this has been bothering him for. I mean, maybe he has been spending sleepless nights over this. And if you just suddenly say that, no, this is your ego asking this question, so just imagine what will be the state of the person who has asked you this question after a lot of, pondering over this. So I'm just asking you, when you say something like this, like, okay, this is an intellectual. I have also faced these questions many times in KDIF. Oh, this is just coming from the intellect. Okay, so what? First of all, how do you know that it is coming from my intellect? Secondly, even if it is coming from my intellect, so what? I mean, you can still address it if you want to, but if you just brush it aside by saying that this doesn't fall in the category of a question at all, then what
yeah,
is one to do? I'm just asking you if
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
response is
But
right.
may I answer? May I answer?
Yeah, of course, of
This
course.
this question, there is a questioner. There are words because a question cannot happen without words.
Right, sir.
So whenever there is a question, it means it's a partial. It is not complete. There can be many questions, but looking, it can be without question. And that looking is more important than asking question, finding answers. It doesn't mean much, but arising of the question can be seen. And in that, you don't need answer from somebody else. It is
Yes,
just
sir.
watching the
Yes.
question itself. Yeah.
I agree with you, sir, but because when we meet, when we have a dialogue meeting, and if we just confine ourselves to looking and watching, then we have to just be quiet for 90 minutes and not just say anything, just looking and watching. Because each time you ask a question, you use words, you say something. So there's a question. And if there's a question, there's a questioner. If there's a questioner, most probably there is an ego. So I'm just wondering, of course, the best thing would be for two friends to sit quietly and only ask if there's a need. That would be the best thing. But can we actually do it in a meeting? Like I say, I'm sure you know about that story of three monks that Krishnaji used to tell very frequent. I mean, quite often. I am sure you know about stuff.
Chaitanya ji, will we go back to the question Gautam asked whether the awareness is
Yeah, sure.
You see, whether the awareness is complete. This is the question. Now, who will answer it? Who can answer it? He himself.
Yeah.
Who else can answer this? His awareness, his level of awareness, his conditioning, his everything. He's the person who is asking whether my awareness is complete. First thing, it shows a desire for completeness in the person, whether afterwards or otherwise. So this can be answered by the person who says that no, it is over. It is over. Awareness. For my awareness, this is complete. Otherwise, why will you will go for it? You will expand that space or whatever it is to make it complete if you are very much for it. That is what I feel about this question, whether the awareness is complete. Thank you.
I will also look at it little differently. Like, for instance, I may ask Gautamji if he has some kind of an image about what he calls complete awareness, and
Yes,
against which he is measuring his own awareness. So, do I have an image about this is complete awareness? I have not reached there, and the awareness that I am capable of doesn't seem to be complete. So, this would be my question to him. If we have an image, can we just look at that image?
That's what, sir. Yeah, I've got up from all this listening to this wonderful discussions. I was like this question was haunting me from so many times because I was reading the book and all such thing. So this was from a long-term thing to know. But one more thing was that every time that awareness has been discussed, I think that completeness will what we feel is for that moment. That's what I feel personally. I'm not pointing out here anyone. So that I feel I'm aware and I'm completely aware to that minute. That's all. That feels the completeness again itself is again a partial completeness. I feel so. That thinking that or feeling that I am aware now, where there is no image, no knowledge, no conditioning, no self, no ego, nothing. Just I am observing with the silence in that minute. That again is the fullness to that minute. It's like a full stop, It's like a full stop. I feel. I don't know about others. I am just wanting from others. Like, what would be the input?
Yeah, but I think this question in itself, whether my awareness is complete or not, it's a good question because it can take you to a deeper awareness. It may take one to a deeper awareness if the question is honest, humble, and is asked with a learning mind. Then I'm sure this is likely to take one to a deeper layer of awareness. Because the very fact that you are asking, questioning your own awareness I think it's a good thing to do. One should question, one should be skeptical about the quality of awareness that one has, or whatever one is experiences that one is having. It's always good to ask whether it is complete, incomplete, borrowed from somebody, result of conditioning, and so on. So, in a way, I would say it's a good thing to keep asking. Maybe you reach a point where you don't even have a question to ask, as Harshad ji said, that you can just observe and not even ask. Yeah, Prasad ji, sorry. I didn't see your hand. Yes, Prasad ji,
No
please.
problem, sir. Yeah. Sir, am I audible? Sorry.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. So I was just thinking about this awareness. So as you said, sir, the questions are really important. Whether they are meaningful or not meaningful, whether they are serious or not, they are really helpful because, see, just now I was just thinking about whether awareness is complete or not, but uh, I put aside that question and the discussions that are happening. It was just about I'm just exercising for myself. What is the two? What are the like? What I can see about awareness? I'm working out personally, so just for myself. And a few things came maybe from the readings or just now they came to me. They are like we slip away from awareness because of habits. The habits are too strong, the conditioning is too strong, so we slip away from awareness. That is what I found for myself. And the thing is that in awareness there is no effort. I felt that. So definitely I cannot answer whether the awareness is complete or not, but this I just want to keep it here so that we all can examine, or if it is useful, we can discuss about it, or we can go back to our question. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Use
Yeah,
time
if
now.
you allow me to, yeah, just one brief question, if there is still time. I am saying that as long as you can watch your own awareness, ask questions about it, measure its depth or shallowness, it only becomes an object of something much deeper. It is no longer the real. It is possible it's no longer the real thing, because when I say I'm aware of my anger, then anger is the object which I'm watching through my awareness. But when I'm asking about awareness, that awareness itself becomes the object of something else which is much deeper. So I think that is one way of looking at it. That's why I think Harshadji said that just observing and not asking question may be important in some cases. But as long as I can raise questions about it, want to do something about it, even observe it, it becomes an object of my awareness. It is no longer just that pure awareness. That's all. Thank you so much. Thanks all of you. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
that almost everybody participated. Sorry, Dinesh ji, I had to stop you once or twice,
No issue,
because I
sir.
just
No,
wanted
no
to
issue.
ensure that
No
everybody
issue, sir. No
participates.
issue. I don't have mind. No, I don't mind.
Okay, good.
There is no
Okay, sir.
Dinesh ji, sir. There is no
Okay.
Dinesh ji.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is now time, so we will have to end the meeting. Thanks all
Yeah.
for
Thank you.
participation about awareness.